Hi, I'm Michelle Koppel. I'm an enrolled agent, and I want to talk to you about the Employee Retention Tax Credit. So, the Employee Retention Tax Credit is a refund that's given to you by the IRS. It was put into law in March of 2020. So, why are you just hearing about it now? So, in the beginning, you could only get the ERC if you did not take the PPP. So, many of you know what that is, the Paycheck Protection Program. A lot of people got that money from the IRS, and so they were disqualified from getting the Employee Retention Tax Credit. At the end of December in 2020, that law changed and you were allowed to get both. And the only stipulation being you could not use the same wages for both. So we started doing that. That's over 2 years ago. We started right away at the end of December 2020. We started helping clients apply for the Employee Retention Tax Credit. And since that time, we've got over $10 million for our clients. Now, I want to touch on how are we different from the other people who are now offering this service today. I'm a little bit alarmed. Even the IRS has put out notices as to some of these people who are just starting up firms and cropping up and offering to help you get this free money. Oh, you can get $26,000, come work with us. Well, the only money that you get is the money you get to keep. So you want to make sure that it's done properly. So we are licensed, we are enrolled agents, we are CPAs, and we have been doing this for more than 2 years. We will be here still as an accounting firm after the Employee Retention Tax Credit is no longer available and in the time period that you might get audited. So I like to say the money that you get, it's only the money you keep. So if you've got to give it back to the IRS with penalties, that's not going to fly. So we do very careful documentation. I have a whole video on how you qualified by partial suspension and the great lengths that I go to make sure that we are audit proof. It's really essential. I can't really sleep at night if I think that you're going to get audited and nobody's going to be happy if they have to give that money back with refund, with penalties. So we document everything. I go into great detail in researching all of the laws, and there are many laws. When I'm talking about this, there is the law, the federal law that enacted the Employee Retention Tax Credit. It's the CARES Act, Section 2301. And then there are many bulletins, IRS bulletins that came afterwards. But the laws that restricted you are the laws that I'm referring to, and those are the laws in each state, executive orders. They are health department orders. So these orders are what the suspension and qualifying by suspension is based on. So it's really important that you look at all of those laws, you read all of those laws, and you document everything. So we do that. That's the initial step. That's the first thing I do with everyone is make sure, absolutely certain that they qualify and the dates that they qualify according to those rules and laws that were put into effect during COVID. So we have a lot of experience. Like I said, we've been doing this for over 2 years. When I first started this, the IRS, I had many calls with them because we hadn't got the refunds in a long time, and they told me their agents had not even been trained on how to process these forms. So this qualifying, a lot of people are skipping over this step, and it's just alarming to me. I have a lot of experience in talking with different people and different payroll services, and I have found that people really don't know what they're doing. They think, oh, we'll just throw it out. We'll get this money and it'll be great. And then the house burns down and you're wondering what happened. And it's because this wasn't documented and maybe you didn't qualify completely. So we really go by the laws, we go by the book, and we document all of it. That's step number one for me. And then we go into the calculations. So the experience that I've had has shown that there are a lot of errors that occur, that people are not aware, certain restrictions on what the limitations are on owner wages and PPP forgiveness. All these programs tie together, the R&D credit, the PPP, the FFCRA, they all tie together, and you need to know every area if you're going to process this properly. The IRS doesn't get the qualifiers. They only get the form to process, which is the 941X, in order to get your refund. So they send you a check and you can think, wow, great success. But then when they come back and audit you and you don't have the documentation that proves how you calculated it, that you eliminated wages that don't qualify, you've got to get that money, give that money back with penalties. So it's really, really important that you work with somebody who has errors and omissions, who has experience, who can guide you and be there and has all the documentation. If you get audited in 3 or 4 years, you want somebody who's still standing, who's still in business, and not one of these people who has you sign a contract saying, hey, if you get audited, sayonara, we're out of here. So we stick with people till they get their check, and that means that we have had stumbling blocks where the IRS has lost something, or they've they applied the 941X to the wrong quarter. There are all kinds of little different glitches that happen. It's just life, you know. So we stick with people. I get a power of attorney if you would like me to do that. And then I follow up with the IRS, and then I don't charge at that point anything else. I just, with the POA, I can pull transcripts. I can contact the IRS and find out what's the problem. Why is there no check? Did they get it? Now, it's taken a long time for them to process some of these. There's no telling. It could be 3 months. It could be a year. Who knows how long? There's nothing I see that's consistent about that. But make sure whoever you work with knows what they're doing. It should take them a long time to do it. If they're doing it in a couple hours, they're not doing it right. So anyway, we've been advised by the IRS and the AICPA to just be wary of people who are just popping up suddenly doing this. I got a cold call the other day. Like, do you know about the CRC? And you can get $26,000 per employee. I'm like, who are you? Because I've been doing this for more than 2 years. Who are you? So just beware. Make sure that you check out who's ever helping you do this service. And again, if you have any questions, send me an email. I'm Michelle Koppel, an enrolled agent. Thank you so much.